Some music doesn't just play in the background of our lives. It becomes of our memories. There are albums we enjoy for a season, and then there are albums that quietly shape the future of music itself. In the mid-90s, R&B was evolving, new sounds were emerging, but no one quite sounded like her. Aaliyah had a voice that was gentle yet confident, a presence that was cool without trying. And when she stepped into a new creative space with producers who were just as visionary, something special happened. The Resort was an album that didn't chase trends, it created them. That album was one in a million. Today, we honor an album of a lifetime. After her debut album, Aaliyah was still growing as an artist. She was young, but she already understood that longevity meant elevation. She didn't want to repeat the same formula. She wanted a sound that felt new. That's when she began working with two rising creatives, Timbaland and Missy Elliott. They were not the biggest names yet, but they had ideas that were ahead of their time. Together, they built a sound that felt rhythm, futuristic. And Aaliyah's voice became the perfect instrument for it. The production on One in a Million didn't sound like a traditional R&B. The drums were sharp. The rhythm were unpredictable. There was space in the music. And instead of overpowering the track, Aaliyah floated over it. Her delivery was calm, smooth, and controlled. She didn't oversing. She didn't compete with the beat. She blended into it. And that became her signature. Songs like If Your Girl Only Knew, One in a Million, and 4-Page Letter introduced a new style of R&B to the world. The album achieved platinum success and reached audience far beyond its era. But the biggest achievement wasn't just sales, it was influence. Many artists who came after borrowed from this sound, sometimes without even realizing it. Part of what made this album special was how each song carried its own mood, yet still fit the bigger picture. If Your Girl Only Knew introduced a confident, playful side of Aaliyah. The song had attitude, but it was never loud. It was cool and controlled. Then there was 4-Page Letter, a softer, more vulnerable record that showed her emotional range. And that title track, One in a Million, captured the futuristic heart of the album. The beat felt ahead of its time, and her vocals floated effortless over it. One in a Million didn't just belong to 1996. Its sound traveled into the future. Even decades later, it still feels modern. And that is the mark of a true classic. Not just popular in its time, but timeless. And that is why One in a Million remains an album of a lifetime. These weren't just songs. They were moments that defined her artistry. What's powerful is how this sounds didn't stay in the 90s. Years later, many R&B artists would use similar minimal beats, soft vocals, and layer rhythms. Whether people realize it or not, the blueprint was already there. And that is the quiet power of this album. It didn't need attention. It earned its place in the music industry. One in a Million wasn't created to follow trends. It quietly set them. Its sound, its mood, its confidence all helped shape the future of R&B. And even today, decades later, it still feels fresh. That is the mark of something timeless. Not just an album people remember, but an album that changed music. And that is why One in a Million remains an album of a lifetime. Aaliyah's story didn't stop there. Her next album would show growth, confidence, and a woman stepping into her artistry fully. Next time we'll explore the self-titled era of Aaliyah and how it revealed the artist she was becoming.